Hey everyone, this is Ryan from Archades Games, and this week we are looking back at a true standout classic in gaming, Super Metroid. It's listed as one of the greatest games of all time in numerous publications like Electronic Gaming Monthly. Man, I missed that magazine, I loved it. But it might actually surprise you to know I never played Super Metroid until 10 years after its original release. I had played Metroid and Metroid 2 at a friend's house, but the first game I would actually own in the Metroid franchise was Metroid Fusion, and I'm gonna say I absolutely loved it, I enjoyed it, I wanted more. So I turned to Super Metroid. Strangely enough though, I didn't play this on an SNES originally. The first time I ever played Super Metroid was on a modded Xbox, and I absolutely loved it. But how does this 1994 Super Nintendo classic hold up today, roughly 23 years after its original release? Super Metroid once again has players assume the role of Samus Aran. Samus has successfully destroyed all but one of the remaining Metroids off of the planet SR-388. Finding a lone Metroid egg that hatched in front of her, Samus decided to spare the creature's life. Samus and the baby Metroid board her ship and leave SR-388 behind for good. Deciding to deliver the baby to the Galactic Federation, Samus heads for Ceres Space Colony. Super Metroid is a 2D side-scrolling action-adventure game with a focus on exploration and collecting. Later games that would adopt this playstyle will become known as Metroidvania games, a namesake based on the popular Metroid and Castlevania franchises in the genre. At the beginning of the game, all you have at your disposal is a standard beam gun. Due to the limits of the basic loadout, you quickly find there are not many places you can visit. All this exploration would get boring quickly without the dangers, creatures, and pirates of the planet Zebes. Samus has several weapons at her disposal ranging from traditional missiles and bombs to the new grapple beam. Favorites like the Ice Beam, Wave Beam, and Screw Attack also make a comeback in new 16-bit glory, and man do they look pretty. Samus takes considerable damage from enemies, so hidden in the game are suit upgrades to further protect you as well as open new areas for exploration. Combat itself is pretty simple, shoot an enemy until it dies. Most enemies have a weakness to one of your weapons, so try experimenting with different ones until you find a match. Many major moments in Super Metroid are segmented with a boss fight. Boss fights are split into two categories, mini-bosses and bosses. Mini-bosses usually block a path to new areas needing to be explored and offer more challenge than the standard room enemies can provide. Some are even completely immune to certain types of attacks. Bosses likewise also have certain weapons they are immune to, but they are required to be defeated in order to move on to the final area and confrontation of the game. Overall, Super Metroid has 10 separate bosses split between the two categories. The wonderful atmosphere achieved by Super Metroid is 100% due to its sound design. Right from the title screen with the chirps of the baby Metroid and seeing the bodies of the humans around it, the eerie music completely sets the stage for what's to come. Each area of the game has its haunting melodies that truly make you feel alone and vulnerable. Each boss encounter likewise has its lively tones to further echo the urgency of the fight. Creatures, bosses, and Samus each have cries when damaged, adding to the feel of battle. Weapons and bombs have their distinct place among the other sounds. Super Metroid is quite literally an example of perfect sound design. Like sound design, graphics in Super Metroid are among the best to grace a Super Nintendo console. Sharp sprite work, diverse environments, and large bosses are just a few of the achievements of Super Metroid. Action is also easy to follow thanks to smooth, fluid animation. Literally nothing is lost in intense scenes. With Metroid Fusion being the first Metroid game I ever owned, you can say I arrived late to the Metroid party. Well, 'cause I did. Regardless, I'll always be glad that I went back to explore the origins of the Metroid franchise. While Metroid and Metroid 2 aren't as fondly remembered as Super Metroid, they are what laid the foundation for what this game would become. Playing it again to do this review has reminded me how truly timeless gaming can be when a game is built this well. If you are new to the franchise, played every game, or just happened to miss Super Metroid like I did, Spend some time this weekend to go and play it. Even 23 years after release, Super Metroid is as relevant a game today as it was in 1994. And let's be honest here, it's probably better than most games that come out today. This week's video is once again edited by cfunk99. If you haven't had a chance to check out his channel, please do so. Also, don't forget to leave a comment of your favorite Super Metroid memories in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe because more are on the way.